Hi! It's time for a sketchbook tour. Finally have finished the sketchbook. I've been working on it since June of 2020. It is now March of 2023, so almost 3 years, but I didn't really work on it too much the first year or so. For example, this was the first year, approximately, and then this was the second year, and then I had 4 pages to finish up after that. That's my lovely cat. Whenever I film videos, she thinks I'm talking to her. She might add some commentary as well. And settle down in and we'll take a look what's in here. I use mostly color pens and watercolor, and as you'll see, the watercolor doesn't work super great, but it's not supposed to be a watercolor. It's not supposed to be really for wet media anyways. Sorry, I got a little helper here. It's not really supposed to be for watercolor. Sorry about that. But I used it just because that's what I was working on, just to explore some. So this is my first drawing. I believe it was with Kelly of the Wild. She had some reels on Instagram about drawing different sea creatures, and this was one of the ones I followed along with. So this was June of 2020, and I really like him. I think he turned out really cute. I like the little vague shading. And then I was doing some research filming bluegill nesting behavior, so this was from one of the I used the reference from one of my videos, my research videos actually, kind of sketch him quickly. And then this is our dogs, Peanut, a golden retriever, and Bailey, a Sheltie. This was kind of my planning for this larger colored pencil piece that I'm still working on. 2 or 3 years later, I have most of Peanut finished and have start Bailey still. So hopefully playing away with that. We lost Peanut, we had put him down I think 2 years ago, so kind of still working on this, but kind of have to be in the right mood, and otherwise it makes me sad, but sometimes it makes me happy to look at pictures of him. So this was kind of a planning piece to figure out how close together I should put them. And this was some trying to kind of practicing getting the right colors for his fur with the pencils that I had, and doing kind of an eye study. This was my first go with watercolor pencils. I found out I really liked them. This is so before even I was really dabbling in watercolor. So this was the end of May 2021. So see, already a year, actually a year went by in those 5 pages. So like I said, wasn't really using this when I started. But yeah, so these are just some watercolor pencils I got from Walmart, and I had a lot of fun with them. This is a chair that my parents have at their house, so I remember sitting outside in the summer on the dock and kind of just drawing what I could see on the shore. And I just love the blue colors. Blue is one of my favorite color, and it's just so vibrant there. Yes, here they are. These are my Corys, and this is a little I don't want to tip this too much, but so this is a print of that. And so these are my first 3 Cory catfish that I had. I now have 7. Had them for 2 or 3 years, and these 3 all made the 24-hour drive with me from Minnesota to New Hampshire for grad school. So this is Cedar, Jacques, and Francois. Felix, my cat, loves watching them. They're just such cute fish, and these little barbells, when they feed, they can actually pick up the food. It's kind of creepy if I watch it for too long, but it's really cool. They're cool fish. I remember this is I think pretty much the only thing after I finished this that I just did in the sketchbook for the summer of 2021. So it was after COVID, I had an internship in Woods Hole, Massachusetts. But I brought this book with because I was oh, I'm gonna draw in my free time. I turned out I didn't have a lot of free time, but I had got a watercolor set that I started using there, and this is the only thing I actually really did. Except then I was studying these little skates. So this is their mermaid purse. It's an egg case. So I was studying them just right post hatching, and also in there while they were still in the egg. So at the end of the summer, I made a little painting for my advisor. So this was my practice for that. And then this is practice for, I don't draw people, so really struggled with this, but I was doing a little painting for my boyfriend. This is more planning for the little skate thing that I gave to my advisor. This is the scientific name for the little skate. And then, because I just thought it was so fun, like how easy it is to draw their shape, that I was gonna like do another one and to paint it, but then I guess I never came back to paint it. Oh, and like, yeah, so if you can see like how the paper's buckling from just like that little bit of watercolor on there. So it's definitely supposed to be a dry media book, more planning for that. And this is it when I came back then. So this was all like in the summer of 2021. And then this is like, I think fall then 2021. I started bringing the sketchbook with when I was going on grad school visits. So this is actually did in Wyoming after I had toured Washington State University. This I think really this is really when my watercolor obsession started. Like this stuff, I was like, I used it a handful of times, but then I was like, you know, I looked up some stuff on Pinterest and I was like, I'm gonna like figure out how to actually use these watercolors. And I chose to do that in a not watercolor friendly book. So I'm not really sure. That probably not my best idea, but I had it at the time and I just kind of went for it. So then this is like the same day I was just kind of seeing how it worked. I was trying to like get the gradation worked, and he likes to leave the fish alone. Pretty much all my watercolor is, I use this little like travel kit with I don't know what they're called, but you put water in the handle and it comes out. But like you can get such fine tips with it, even though it's like a pretty big brush. I really love it. And also the pigments can get super vibrant, but like I can get that small of a thing with like this brush. I don't know, I'm amazed with it. Also got this from Walmart. They're getting pretty cracked now, but they've traveled with me quite a bit, so I bring those with me all the time and I love them. I think it's really cool, even on sketchbook that it's not supposed to have watercolor. Look at this little guy. He's so happy. I love the colors. Yes. Also do quite a few tree frogs, I guess, in this book. This one I was trying to do a little bit quicker, because if I don't consciously try to like actually sketch, I get very detail oriented very fast. So I was, you know, kind of trying to do a little bit looser thing there. This is just some more exploration with watercolor, because I've like never used it before. And so this gets us to October of 2021. So it's kind of a few pictures here and there. The school, so this is senior, my undergrad. I remember doing this in my boyfriend's room while he was finishing some homework, and had finished mine already or given up on mine, I don't know, and I decided I wanted to paint a little bit because I brought my stuff to his house, and I just got a gel pen, so I was kind of excited to try that out. I really liked this, like how, I think this was definitely like inspired by something on Pinterest. I liked how they had like kind of focus shape, but then kind of like breaking the silhouette. I just like this page with the two colors together, which is like this blue and purple together. I love it so much. Like I was kind of like bringing that back in here, even like, I don't know, what is it, like 2 years later, I still think about this like color scheme a lot. So then this is something from Domestika. It's like kind of like Skillshare, but it has a lot of art things. I don't remember which course this was, but it was like expressive animal paintings and watercolor. This I think is kind of the only lesson I actually did from that one. But I really like the concept of just doing grayscale animals, because sometimes I have a hard time picking the right color, and like I spend so long like kind of getting wrapped up in that. But like doing grayscale, it's just focusing on the values but more. It's really had fun with just doing that, and I liked how it turned out. This is a little cute hedgehog I'd seen on Pinterest. Like, look at him. It's adorable. It's so cute. It's so tiny. Big page, but he's still cute, and he deserves a whole page to himself. This I guess, I forgot about this. This was my first attempt at doing kind of a stylized, cartoonish drawing, and like messing with the proportion and the eyes, and I don't know, you know, doing a bigger tail. I'm not super happy with how it turned out, but my mom loves foxes, so I was gonna try like do something really cute for her, and it just didn't really work out. More barn owls and tree frogs are gonna be the theme of this sketchbook. So I love the colors in this, honestly. I was a huge like Guardians of Ga'Hoole fan when I was in elementary school. So like there was just like a fantasy world about owls and their society, and like the main character was a barn owl, and then like I read a barn owl book too, like Wesley the Owl. Me being a scientist, interest in biology, like that was, and then about owls, that was like the love of my life book for a while. And some more owls. Sorry, I keep forgetting to turn these for you guys, but yes, I love barn owls. They're so fancy. I love like putting in I don't know what it's called, the little feathers around the heart-shaped face. Oh, and the Niffler. Huge Harry Potter fan also, and the Niffler is my favorite mystical beast for sure. He's just so adorable. Not a huge fan of the Fantastic Beasts movies because I think their plot lines could use a little bit of clarifying, but I love the animals. Me being a biologist, no surprise, loves the fact that the movie is about a magizoologist. I'm not really sure how to say that. And then I was doing a project my senior undergrad. I was helping out with project coloring pine martens, fishers, and bobcats. So I was like looking at some cute little references of some pine martens. Once again, trying to go a little bit faster than some of my other work, because a lot of times like I just end up spending so long in my sketchbook. Like this owl watercolor was not very fast at all, but like, just trying to get a little more along the lines of like gestures or animal studies. This was on the plane, I remember. Let's see, did I date this? Where was I going? Oh, also, I got to, after some of my grad visits were done, I got to go to Belize to volunteer on like with a potential graduate advisor, and they're doing like camera trap. There was a long-term study camera trapping for like jaguars and other large cats. So this was on the plane to there. It was like over winter break, so it was like Christmassy time. So I was looking at that, and this is a salamander that we found in Belize that I got a picture of. I think I did this on Christmas Day. It was really weird being not with family on Christmas. And then this was on the way home from Belize, that trip. I brought this sketchbook all the way to Belize just to do one watercolor painting of a salamander and then like 2 on the plane. But you know, I think it was worth it. And I really like how this one turned out too. Like this was also from Pinterest. I think I could be able to find which piece kind of like inspired me. I really like how they did the dragon, so I'll look for that. And then this was like another, I was trying to use, I don't think it was ballpoint pen or like gel pen, I don't remember what it was. I had gotten actual like paint things. Yes kitten. Yeah, that I thought was gonna help me like get finer lines, but honestly I ended up still just liking the little travel pen better. Anyways, I got these painters and like shake them up, but then like you can't really get any smaller than this, which is pretty big compared to like what I could get with my little travel watercolor brush that I am like obsessed with. So I was trying that, and then also like took a weird amount of time to dry, and I didn't realize that, and I messed the page up. This was a practice painting, kind of first time looking at giraffes, and I tried not to like do any sketching before, which is like definitely the eyes got weird, and like you can see how they say this paper doesn't like watercolor, so like it like balls up really fast. So I kind of did that as a practice, and then I went on actual watercolor paper. Once again, thank you Mom for getting me this sketchbook, and then I did this one and I loved it actually, because I was like, oh my gosh, I think just like being on actual watercolor paper is blown away. So this is like actually, if you guys recognize it, I use it as my profile picture now because I just loved it. It's so cute. That was the first watercolor thing I was like really happy with. I think it's so cute. Yes, and then I'm a huge plant mom. So this was some sort of little, what are they called? Like cedar-y fern thing that got absolutely crisped in my basement apartment during the winter. Some bromeliads that my sister got me. Some other nondescript succulents. Jade plants, my absolute favorite. In fact, I have one right in here, and a little moose pot because I study moose and I love moose. And everyone got me moose stuff for Christmas, so now I'm loaded. I love it. And then a course pothos, and this was my first plant actually. I had him for like 10 years, I think, and he just died this last winter. I'm so sad, but I'm not really sure what happened. I'd had him in half a couple times to try because he was getting too tall, but then like when I did that, the bottom half rooted, but the top half lived for like another 3 years. And then he just died, but my mom was taking care of him because I couldn't bring all my plants to New Hampshire, and most of them survived, and for that I'm thankful. This is just, I love doing. Happy with how this one. I want to do more of them because like arms are so fun, and I love shading like this part because I think that made it look so good. So this one was just kind of like a random thing that I had just done. I really like how this eye turned out. He looks so real. Felix, hey, leave the fish alone. Felix loves the fish, and I live in a small room and I have 3 fish tanks, so I can't really get that mad at her for hunting the fish all day, but also she can't hunt the fish all day, so sometimes I have to yell at her. I love also doing just these rocks. Felix, stop. I'll edit out as much of that as I can. I want, like, in elementary school, like when I first was like, I'm going to be an artist, and I had like one book that taught you how to draw, and like it was talking about like not using like rough lines or anything, and like how to make rocks with the shading, and it's really fun just putting circles and then like trying to make them turn into rocks. Actually came back to that grayscale watercolor I liked, from that class with the bird. So this is a camel that I saw at the Phoenix Zoo. I was there for a conference through January, so like right after I came back from Belize, I had to go back to, I don't know, I feel like my carbon footprint was very large that December. Yeah, I mean, it was just so cute, like just having just gray and like just doing the values on some animals. I love how it turned out. His name was Crockett. I grew up watching like the Davy Crockett old like Disney movie, and I thought it was really cool. This was, I think, another class on Domestica. Let's see. Oh look, I even saved it. McKendry Domestica video. Okay, just like doing like household objects type of thing. And I'm more of like, I love drawing animals, but sometimes I get sucked in and like, I should know how to draw perspective and still life. And I try it, and this was like one of the times I was like, oh, that was actually kind of cool. Most of the time, I'm not a huge fan. So this was exploring like watercolor, I think with the same Domestica class, but of course this paper sucks with watercolor, so it's so beautifully textured. But this guy's cute. It was like one of those, do a blob and draw what you see. It's like little Pegasus sleeping. It's so cute. Photo nor contrast brightens. No idea what that means, but that's okay. I had these 2 drawings that I did while I was supposed to be studying for finals, but I felt like I needed a break, so I doodled my little jade plant. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of my little baby jade plants. My sister saved them while I was in Woods Hole 2 summers ago, and I'm forever indebted to her. And so this is one of the little guys, and then I put this here just so I could paste them in. I had like some of those like brush pen things, brush markers that I was kind of trying to use here. I think this might have been the first time I used them. And then I got some like, fine liners, and apparently also a gel ink joy, and some other words that I no longer recognize, but I'm sure they're brand names. And then this I think was like also for that peanut picture, the golden retriever and Sheltie that I shown earlier. You can hear it clinking, that's Felix eating her food. And I also learned valuable lessons about how long it takes for things to dry. Okay, I remember I was in a hotel room February. This was, I guess, when I toured Washington State University. Yeah, so I brought my sketchbook and I was like, I'm gonna do art in the hotel room. And I also thought this was cute. Like, so I was trying to do like those like kind of quicker animal studies. Just some like gestury things. I think he's so cute. I love that one. I think he turned out so good. And then like I say, I was like, I should draw from perspective, so I drew the telephone. Yeah, I mean, it's a telephone. Not very interesting. Yeah, I guess I was in a, like, I should know how to draw things phase, so I started, like, the 100 Heads challenge. What better thing to do 3 days before Valentine's Day? I think this one's the worst, honestly. I don't know. Well, this also looks like Medusa, so it's hard to tell which one actually is the worst, but I didn't really continue that for too long, because I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing animals. One thing I need to do still is actually use a little bit darker watercolors, because, like, things like this, like, I can barely see that unless it's like midday and like perfect lighting. But he's a cute little boop nose cow. And there's like an account on Instagram, 1 hour sketch. That's what it is. So you're supposed to like, they give like random pictures, and everyone posts like a picture that they try to draw in roughly an hour. This was also on the plane. I think it kind of turned out cute. I liked it. I was like, that's a fun account. And then I quit liking their posts, and now I never see them in my feed. I was happy with how the giraffe turned out, so I was like, I'm gonna do another. I love how this turned out. I made him into like a little sticker, which I don't think I have handy. So why would I ever have anything handy? I remember my mom was painting with me, and so she like did like 3 gorgeous paintings, and this took me like the whole 3 hours we were together, so I spent a long time on this. I just, like, because I always start too light, so like I had put like 7 or 10 layers right here just to get this dark enough, because I was like, I never just start dark enough, but also like I have no idea what I'm doing with watercolor. Well, this didn't crinkle too bad because I was trying really to keep it like not watery, so I was like pretty much like just putting pigment down. And then so I was doing some classes, so it was like the color wheel, I should try to make one. This was a draw this in your own style with, I'm not really happy with how it turned out, but I wanted to do it and I put it off and I only had a little bit of time. This was another domestic course thing about like how to use your materials. This is a cute little pudgy owl. This was like all over the same break. Was this like spring break probably? Yeah, this was like all spring break my senior year. So I actually had some time and had so much fun just painting. Little cute guys. This was, I was like, some of my art should have meaning. So sea creatures and plastic waste was my angle at that. And I haven't come back to it, but so it was like, instead of like a plastic water bottle, I was going to be like, seahorses love reusable water bottles. So I was trying to figure out how realistic to make him. I really do like this one, but I wanted him a little bit cuter because he's very cute. Not trying to be mean. He's very cute, but he's not pudgy. I don't know. So I went through a couple. I like this one. And I had to turn him a little bit, and then I ended up here. And honestly, I love this little thing right here. So then I moved to my actual watercolor paper. So then I made this guy, and once again, it works so much better on actual watercolor paper. But instead, I've decided to struggle in this book. Maybe one day I'll just actually do watercolor on watercolor paper, but not yet. That's too easy. These are those fine tip marker things, so I don't know why I have to practice with balloons all the time, but I guess because of the string? Maybe? I'm not sure. And Megamind! So this is with the dual tip brush pen, watercolor brush pen things, and as per usual, the paper started tearing up wherever I tried to fix things, but I'm a huge Megamind fan, and I had a lot of fun with this. I actually ended up trying to do this for a pumpkin too pretty soon. And then after my elephant thing turned out so well, I also tried to do kind of mixing like elephants, watercolor, and then animal studies into like drawing with waffles, which is here. She had done like a drawing animals in her sketchbook thing and like put highlighter behind some of the sketches she liked, and I was like, oh, color. So I think kind of like a mix between those two things was like how I designed this with some references. I have a video to like following the process. I actually have 3 because so even though it was supposed to be kind of like a quick gesture thing, I think each one still took me like 20 minutes or something. So this is all with that same watercolor travel kit from Walmart. These are the brush pens. I had like a weird color set with them, so I was like, I don't really know what to do. So I did Megamind because like I had a lot of blues, and I was like, what's blue? I was like, Megamind. And also my fish. This was my betta fish, Sorenzo, that I had all of senior year of undergrad. He was so cute. He was so tiny when we first got him. He was so pretty. I loved him so much. I love fish. Yes. And then this was, I followed along with my Patreon. I really enjoyed also this. So I think later in here I do a moose kind of in the similar just graphite sketch. Here is the aforementioned zebra spread. I really like these little grasses in here. Little guys get pudgy, but that's okay. There's also a video for this. Perspective. I should know how to draw things. And then that's all I did. Oh, and more fake faces. I found this quote on like a Tumblr thread. It was so cute. There are 2 dragons inside of you. One hoards knowledge and the other hoards trinkets. I feel like that sums me up so completely. And this guy reminds me of like Dragon Tales or Between the Lions or something. I don't know. But I think they're both so cute. I love dragon like fantasy novels, and also just fun colors. And this was with those like brush pens, and then I think this might have been when I finally got Prismacolor colored pencils that actually allow you to blend. That was a huge step forward. So this was January, February, March, April. And then this was like in the summer, so I didn't draw too much right at the end of senior year because, like, you know, stress and graduation. My best friend from high school and I went to Disney World in Florida, or Disneyland, I don't know which one's which, for a trip. I also went to Universal Studios for Harry Potter World, of course, and Pluto's my favorite Disney character, I think. So I painted him like right before I left. Once again, brought my sketchbook from Minnesota to Florida to paint one picture, but totally worth it, I guess. Happy little squirrel. I really like this one. I think because I like it when I put foliage around my animals. I should make a note of that. I like foliage around my animals. Okay, once again, I should draw heads. This is like, what, head 4 of the 100 heads challenge? I think this one actually kind of turned out okay, minus this eye. I don't know, it's okay. I'll take it. Cute little pudgy owl. Once again, trying to like just have fun with things a little bit more instead of always trying to go for like true realism, I guess. It's still foxy, so I finally made a cute fox for my mom. And I finally actually gave it to her last Christmas. I did some outlining and then watercolor. Hey, look, it's so cute. I also have a sticker for that on my Etsy. And my best friend from high school, one I went to Florida with, she got me these like metallic watercolors. And this is like probably the only time I actually use them. But like they're so cute. So that was really pretty. This was a Skillshare class I did about something. I don't know. So like gesture drawing again. And then gesture drawing from animal videos with meerkats. This one looks like a skunk, just I don't think her. I don't know. And this is a bird book my mom got me, focusing on drawing birds. Yes, drawing birds with Andrew Faulkner. So I actually used that a little bit. I like the seagull wing. I love birds because their eyes are always just so majestic. This must be Inktober. So I was heavy in field work for checking cameras. So this is not, I'm in New Hampshire. So I didn't really draw too much during this time, but I was like, I should do a few prompts. So this was like bouquet or something. And with I had like about a fine line I went through the field and it was fun. And then moose, because I'm studying moose. So this is actually referenced from a picture from our cameras. So I added the little foliage too, because like, look at him, he's chewing, he's stripping it all off because the moose just go and eat. So yeah, she's pretty cute. I really like how that turned out. I was gonna come back and paint it, but then like I didn't. Now I probably never will. Here's camping, trying to do like some texture stuff, make it not so boring. And then armadillos. Armadillos are also like one of my favorite animals because my dad and I watched like the Marty Stouffer Amazing Armadillo Wild America video, and it's just so funny. So I was so happy that armadillos were one of the prompts. And then I did a little watercolor over him. This is the star of the show, Felix, who has finally went to bed and quit interacting with the video. But yeah, so this is her. She's so cute, and this is her little fancy collar because now she lives in an apartment and needs a collar. She was like 7 when I moved her here, and she adapted very well. And this is trying to like do some faster capturing of her because she has like a little harness, but like her neck is like way too long here. But you know, that's the point of doing some faster things. This is a video I did on like gesture drawing. I want to check that out. So I did some mountain goats because my boyfriend and I saw a bunch of mountain goats at Glacier National Park, and also mountain goats. I'm a huge fan. So happy to finally see them in person. But so I just looked up some references, and this is 30-second gestures, 2-minute gestures. Oh, I thought I did a 5-minute, but I guess it's just these two. So just kind of like getting the whole point across. And then once again, trying to do a little bit more like stylized things. Trying to be like, what makes up a turkey? I like that head. And then from that, I did, this is some planning for the Christmas doggos that are later in the sketchbook. So then like kind of being like, where does the turkey roughly break down to be? And then like, you know, messing with the proportions. And I end up with like this guy is my final little dude, which there's the same little Corey drawing. I made a sticker. I then went to like say actual watercolor and did a thing for Thanksgiving. So I think that turned out pretty cute. I was gonna do more on the background, but then like I just didn't, I guess. So that's where that sits. I'm trying to practice eyes. Yes, here's the moose. It's a steady moose. I love moose so much. They're adorable. Not like in a I'd pet you way, but they're just doing their own thing. Hopefully. Yes, they're so cute. Look at them. Really happy how this turned out. Like, you can actually see what's going on with the ears, and I was pretty proud of myself when I finished this anyways. And then so here's the turkey again, but this time with my Prismacolor. This is a husky I drew along with from a video from Jess Carp. She did a video with the kind of like a bunch of little animal heads that were all like really fun colors, and so I kind of tried to incorporate that into my turkey some too. Like I did a green base color, and like it just kind of like makes it more happy, I guess. I'm happy with how it turned out. And then so I started like a Christmas little nature art Christmas challenge drawing prompt list thing, because I was trying to finish this kind of like by the end of the year, and like if I did like 12 days of Christmas type of thing, I would have kind of finished it. So I made up some prompts. So like this is I think Jingle Bells. So this little horse I did, and this is the final one. So this is also with the Prismacolor colored pencils. Kind of went from watercolor, and then now I'm like in a colored pencil phase again. And then this was hot cocoa and a little snake. I love this blue so much. So I did Christmas prompts for them because I like drawing animals. I kind of tried to incorporate an animal into each one. So this is Santa hats, all in sleeping dogs. I think this is my favorite. I don't know. Oh, this is so cute too. Like, look at him. Also sleeping. This one I kind of mostly made up, so he looks a little bit extra funky, but we still love him. And then this is I think a combined wreath and reindeer, because I wasn't drawing as much as at home every day as I was kind of planning to, because I was visiting, which is also important. But I like this one. I did like a watercolor base and the pencil on top, and I like how it turned out. I really love these little leaves. And Sleepy Kitty. This one, I don't know why this is so light colored, but it's kind of hard to see. This is presents, so the little mouse so happy to get some cheese. And then I did this one like actually I think after the new year. So Christmas tree cookie. I think it's actually like kind of pretty good like dimensionally. And look who it is, another barn owl. I love barn owls so much. And drawing birds too, just in general is fun. And so this is kind of trying to do a little bit more of a playful coloring. I'm still, exploring like how I actually want my style to be, and I think this is getting pretty close. This is my fish family then that I currently have here. This Fenton, he's the one that sits on my desk over there. Sometimes I put him on my videos. Marmalade is over by my TV, and these are my Corys. This is my one peppered Cory who Petco fought my sister about that it was supposed to be a Julie, and she's like, I don't even know fish, but I can tell this is a different fish, and they're like, we're being mean to her, and so she just took it. So now I have one peppered Cory in with my other Corys. So this was Jacques, Francois, Cedar, Leopold or Houdini, and then Stefan and Stefan, one with a PH and one with an F. So because I can't really tell them apart anyways, so might as well kind of call them the same thing. Kind of happy with how they turned out. I did the black markings first, which the Prismacolor pencils that actually blend, and I made everything a little bit messy, but I think it's still, I love them. They're so cute. Okay, so this is my fish. This was another Draw This in Your Own Style with like Vasa Nova. And then my more owls. So almost to the end here. So this is so cute. I wasn't really sure like what to do on these last pages, and I was like, well, I love drawing barn owls, so I started with this guy, and I was trying to like make him cute again, but didn't like this page. So I like did this one, and I came over here. I couldn't really get it. I like this one. This actually looks like or the Guardians of the book, like when they made a movie. This little guy is so cute. But these two could use work, but so then I went back and then I did this guy, and I think it turned out really nice. I like it. I was very tempted to actually color him because I love the tan color of barn owls, but I decided to leave it. And this is the last page. More tree frogs. I think this one might be my favorite because he's just so cute and curled up. But also this guy on the stick with his long legs, and this guy with his little smirk. This guy, he's so cute. I love them all, okay? But I'm not super picky, but yeah, so, and that is it. So 100 little drawings, all in one little book that took me almost 3 years to finish. I don't know, yeah, so this little dude's traveled quite a bit. But yeah, so thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.